I think everyone in our community, whether you're an American Jew or an Israeli Jew, was extremely touched by what happened on October 7th. And each one of us internalized the event in a different way. And I have to say, what I observed right in the beginning, on the first day, is that there was a great distinction between those that lived and were born or raised in the United States versus those that were born and raised in Israel. And it was as if the platform upon which their edifice was built suddenly collapsed. And the kind of pain, agony, and disbelief was so deep that it's very difficult to understand that. Of course, we were all shocked and we were all upset. But when I looked into the eyes of the Israelis on Shmini Atzeret Simchat Torah morning, and I was able to see the unspoken pain, it ripped through and through and through. And it wasn't until later that the stories began to emerge, and of course everyone was in shock. But I have to say personally that we led a group of people from Charlotte, together with the JLI, Solidarity visit in April. And one of the places that we visited was Chenyon Re'im. Chenyon is a parking area, but it's not a paved parking area, it's dirt, it's in the desert, right where the Nova Festival is taking place. And you still see musical instruments, you still see the stage set, untouched from that difficult Shabbat morning. But the place turned into a ground, a sacred ground, monuments to those that perished. And as we were standing there walking from place to place, and we met with survivors as well, and we met with rescuers. One of the things that dawned on us, all of us together, was that it's impossible for us to try to imagine or perceive what was going through the minds of the young people that came to celebrate that Shabbat morning when it hit them. You know, at first the rockets were flying and everybody thought, okay, it's another attack from Hamas. But when they heard that there are terrorists that are within us and they're shooting at everybody and you see people actually being shot, it was something that shook them up entirely. And one of the things with survivors is that survivors usually ask the question, why me and why not my friend? Why did I survive? And I would say the survivors have the privilege and the obligation to be able to share the story with everyone else. A story of fear, a story of darkness, but also a story of light, a story of hope. And the hope goes to the very soul of Israel. And tonight we are going to hear a first-hand experience. So for those that have not been to Israel since October 7th, Israel has come to you right here in this room. So you will hear from someone that was actually there, her experience of how she actually managed to survive this terrifying ordeal, not knowing if she's going to live through the day until at one point she realized we are free. And as you notice, they're sitting. This is like an informal gathering. It's not a professional speech. So I would like to first of all thank Shani's uncle and aunt, Amnon and Tami Nachshon, because through them we were able to be privileged to have Shani here. And I'd like to introduce Shani to our entire community. Bruchim habayim.
Okay, so hi. I'm Shani. I'm from Israel. I live in Be'er Sheva. Right now I'm a bachelor student for chemistry. And on October 7th, I came to the Nova Festival for teaching Acro Yoga. Yeah, we have slide for you. Acro Yoga. This is Yovel. Yovel is one of my friends. He was with me at the Nova Festival. He survived, like me. So, yes. Okay, so first of all, I just want to say that I started talking English, but maybe I switched to Hebrew because I'm really nervous and excited.
All good, baby.
Thank you. I need to pray. Okay, so yeah, it's the same one. Okay, so on October 7th, I came to the Nova Festival with the Yovel, this one, Maya and Yoav. At 6 a.m. I took the another one. Yeah. This is the last picture that I took from the Nova Festival before everything just started. At 6:15 I came to the Kanta. Kanta, it's the place that all the friends sitting together. If you don't want to dance, then we would just go to the Kanta and relax and everything. Yeah. So we just talk with each other, to each other, and in 6:30, I saw behind the tree a flash. I thought at the beginning that it's the firework, and I said, "Wow, the Nova Festival organized firework, amazing!" So I wanted to see the firework. So I just wanted to see the firework, and so I stand and move from the tree, and then I realized very fast that it's not firework, it's rocket. So I switched to him. אוקיי, אחרי שראיתי שזה בעצם זיקוקים, הבנתי שאנחנו צריכים להסתתר, שאנחנו צריכים לחסות את עצמנו, להשתטח על הרצפה, לחסות את הראש, את הצלעות, כזה.
After I realized that, I quickly realized that these are flashes from missiles and that they were red alert and that we are afraid nor worried because we believed it was going to take 30 minutes for the Hamas flexing their muscles.
It's like, it's like at the beginning I thought maybe it took 30 minutes, maybe an hour. You know, sometimes it's happened when Hamas just send for us rocket, and we don't need to worry about it.
So you just lay on the floor?
Yes, we just started to lay on the floor to cover our head, our ribs, you know, if the rocket will
land right next to us.
Thank you, everyone. So, נשכבנו על הרצפה for 20 minutes.
So you're down the floor for 30 minutes?
20 minutes? 20 minutes. 20 minutes. And then the police officer came to us and she started to shout, be careful, be careful, it's more than just rocket, just careful, run. Okay, no problem. We didn't understand what is the meaning of what she said because she didn't say terrorist at that time, so we didn't know that. So we started to take our stuff easily. We helped to our friends to take their stuff also to the car, and everything was just good. Everything was, we came to the car, we started to drive to road 232. This is the number of the road. And then Maya told us that she forgot her phone in the Kanta. Yeah. So Maya and Yovel, the one you saw before, yeah. So Maya and Yovel just went out from the car and went back to the Kanta area. She took her phone and then we wait for them like 15 minutes. 15 minutes when they don't answer to us in the phone, and it was like a bit scary. But then I talk with my mom, and I told her, don't worry, 20 minutes and I'm home. And to my father, I told him that there are a lot of rockets, tons of rockets. It looked like rain of rockets, and that I'm a little bit scared, and I don't know what we need to do. So he told me that I need to hide. In the ditch, hide in the ditch. Yes. Okay, so I need to hide in the ditch. I told him, okay. We just waiting for Maya and Yovel another couple of minutes. They came to the car, and then everything will be okay. We'll drive to our home, and yeah. It's 7:20, something like this. After 20 minutes, Yovel sent to Yoav a message that they don't find our car, and he sent the location. So, like the area of the dense area, they were in the right side, and me and Yoav were in the left side. So we need to take our car to drive to the right side. And when me and Yoav just go to the right side, I saw like 6 police officers במרווחים.
Spaced out.
תודה.
Yeah, spaced out. Six cops spaced out.
Yeah, with their guns, they took their guns.
Drone guns.
Thank you, everyone. Yes. And I thought that this is like very weird situation, why they took their guns. I didn't know what happened there. And then Maya and Yovel came to the car. Maya opened Cheetos, and she asked me, do you want Cheetos? Like nothing happened. I told her, no, I don't want it. I just look around, yeah. And then after 2 minutes, maybe less, we started to hear like 15 meters from us, someone that just started to scream, medic, someone shot her. I was in shock. I'm a combat medic, Yovel is paramedic, we met each other in the IDF. So Yovel looked at me, he told me, okay, Shani, are you coming? I told him no, because I didn't even hear the gunshot, and all the situation was like totally weird. So I didn't understand what happened. למה שדבר כזה כאילו יקרה?
Why should something like this happen?
Yeah.
Typically it's just rockets and that's it.
Yeah. One of my friends at that time, her name is Roni. Roni sent me, she lived also in Be'er Sheva. So she sent me a message, Shani, are you okay? I sent her a message back that I'm in the party near Gaza, and that something weird just happened. And she told me, be careful because I think that there are terrorists there. I told her, stop, don't tell me this, I'm afraid, I just want to go home, and that's it. And then I heard the screaming, medic, someone shot her. Yuval asked me the question I told you, I told him no, and he just go from the car and went to the girl. 2 minutes after, I saw all the other people in the car just go out and run with the car still muna'im.
Turned on, still running.
Yes. So I thought that maybe they know something that I don't know. So me, Yoav, and Maya need to go out from the car, and we need to run to Yovel to take him, and yeah. So I need to breathe. This is the hardest part. Yeah.
Okay, I'll say it in Hebrew. I'll translate.
יצאנו מהרכב.
I got out of the car.
ראיתי את יובל.
I saw Yuval
כזה עומד מעל הבחורה.
leaning over the girl.
והוא לא מטפל, הוא מסתכל
He's just looking. He's not treating her. He's in shock.
אז כאילו אני הייתי טיפה מרוחקת.
I was just a little bit behind. And I only saw the foot.
הרגל שלה דיממה, כאילו היה
Her leg was bleeding
פצע ירי.
pretty badly from a gunshot wound.
הוא היה ממש דימום ממש
He
מסיבי.
was bleeding very heavily.
הבנתי שאני חייבת לעצור.
I understood that I got to stop the bleeding. He's not doing anything.
וכשהתקדמתי,
When I got closer to her,
ראיתי
I saw
ראיתי בעצם 6 כדורים בחזה שלו.
I saw six gunshot wounds in her chest. I was stunned.
והבנתי שאין לנו דרך להציל אותה.
I understood that there's no way for us to help her.
ושאנחנו חייבים לברוח.
And we got to run immediately.
הסתכלתי על יובל.
I looked at Yuval.
הסתכל עליי, שנינו הבנו.
We both understood, looked at each other.
והתחלנו ללכת.
We started walking on the road.
אני הובלתי את ארבעתנו בעצם.
I led the four of us.
זה היה כאילו בכביש, יש שתי שדרות כאלה של מכוניות.
It was on the road when there was like 2 rows of cars.
אחרי 4 רכבים שאני עברתי,
After we passed 4 cars,
חברים שלי באותו זמן לא ראיתי אותם, כנראה היו קצת מאחוריי.
I did see our friends, they were a little bit behind us.
זיהיתי מהצד השני של הרכב מחבל.
I saw on the other side of the car there was a terrorist.
אז התחלתי לשכב על הרצפה.
I hit the ground. He had a small gun. He was wearing long black pants.
היה לו מכנסיים שחורות, חולצה עם דגל פלסטין.
Palestine on his shirt, white shirt, Palestinian flag.
נשק כזה, בגודל כזה, ממש מוזר, בחיים לא ראיתי נשק.
It was a weird gun.
ואז הוא הסתכל עליי.
He looked at me, he noticed me,
כיוון את ה...
pointed the gun at me,
ניסה לראות
tried to shoot, but he had a jam.
ואז הוא הסיט את הנשק והלך לכיוון השוטרים.
Then he noticed that there were cops across the street, so he gazed over and went over to try to deal with them.
באותו רגע לא הבנתי מה קרה, זה היה...
It wasn't really clear what's going on at that time.
המשכנו לעלות למעלה לכיוון בארי, כדי להסתכל בבית של מישהו.
They kept running towards Be'eri. Halfway through, you saw a brigadier general.
מה?
שוטר?
כן.
Okay. I had a little cheat sheet over here to try to decipher everything.
יש לי את התמונה שלה בפנים.
You have a picture of the girl?
Face in my eye right now.
Oh, the one that was shot. She can see the picture in her head of the girl that was shot.
אז התחלנו לרוץ לכיוון בארי, ובאמצע ראינו איזה בחור דתי, ואיזה תת-אלוף על מדים.
So we go down towards Be'eri, and halfway through we saw a general and an Orthodox person, probably one nearby settlements, who told us to go through an open field.
כן. אז אמרנו, בסדר, אני הייתי נורא מבולבלת.
Scared and terrified.
וממש ביקשתי, כאילו, מאותו בחור במדים שמכיר לי מה קורה, שתגיד לי בצורה ברורה, באמת מה קורה.
Tell me, what's going on? Be clear. He responded,
פשוט אמר לי, פשוט תרוצי בשדה הפתוח, ויהיה בסדר.
Go through the field and you're going to be fine.
אז התחלנו לרוץ באמת בשדה הזה.
So we started running in the field.
שדה גרוע, קשה ממש לרוץ בו.
Very hard to run through it because it was wild. So it wasn't like straight.
התחלנו כאילו בהתחלה הלכנו בו, כזה הלכנו ממש מהר.
In the beginning we started walking fast.
ואז התחלנו לשמוע צרורות של יריות.
We started hearing a lot of gunshots towards us.
מאיה אוחזת לי ככה בזרוע, ככה ממש ממש.
Maya is holding me really tight.
מסתכלת על הרצפה,
Looking down.
ואני מובילה את כולנו.
And I'm just running with the rest of them.
כזה לכיוון השמש, כמה שיותר רחוק מעזה.
As far as we came from Gaza. And people are falling around you.
אנחנו שומעים את היריות, אני מרימה את הראש, אני מסתכלת לצד שמאל, אני שומעת את הצרורות, ואנשים אחד אחרי השני פשוט נופלים.
I'm looking to the left and I can see how people get shot and fall down while we are running in the field. Very stressed situation.
I'm shaking. אחרי איזה, לא יודעת, 40 דקות של ריצה בערך,
About 40 minutes of running, 40 to an hour of running in the field.
הגענו למין כזה, עברנו שני שדות פתוחים כאלה.
We went through 2 fields.
הבנתי שלבארי אנחנו כאילו נגיע.
We're not going to get to Be'eri.
והיה מין כזה שדירה כזאת של עצים, משביל עפר כזה, ושדירה של עצים, ועמדו שם מלא אנשים מהמסיבה.
There was a road between the two fields and trees next to it, and there was quite a few people from the party there.
גם מלא רכבים,
And cars.
מלא רכבים כאילו מהמסיבה שהצליחו לצאת, אז הם
From the
הגיעו
party.
לשם.
A lot of cars from the party that actually managed to get out.
הרכבים היו מפוצצים באנשים,
The cars were full of people.
ואמרתי שאין מצב, שכאילו כל הריצה הזאת אנחנו ביחד, אין מצב שבשלב הזה ארבעתנו מתפצלים.
We were all four of us together, and there was no way we were going to find a car that had 4 seats in it. So we decided to stick together.
I decided.
Decided.
כן. אחרי השדירת עצים, הייתה מין כזאת ירידה לרחבה יחסית שטוחה כזאת.
Behind this road, there was an avenue of trees and a downward incline towards a fairly large flat area.
נשארנו שם כזה, נעצרנו לכמה דקות. דיברתי עם אלון, חבר שלי.
Yeah, we started to.
זה לא כתוב.
So we stopped there.
We stopped
She called Alon, her boyfriend.
Yeah, I called along and I told him that something bad happened. I'm not in the car. Oh, I forgot to tell you, 2 minutes after we went out from the car, they shot RPG on our car. So, yeah. So back to the story.
You called Alon.
Yeah, I called Alon and I told him there's something bad just happened. I'm not in the car. We don't have a car anymore. And then we end the phone call. And the same friend from before, Ronnie, she sent me another message. That message, she sent me a video from Sderot. And she writes to me, a lot of terrorists in Be'eri, Sderot, and Durim just hide. At that point, I knew that there are terrorists, but I understand that I can't go to Be'eri anymore, and I need to find a place to hide. And I remember what my father told me before, that I need to hide in. Yes. So after the flat area, yeah, היה כזה ירידה ממש תלולה.
There was a steep hill.
A steep hill full of thorns.
Big thorns.
No, this was the small thorns. Yeah. So Yovel jumped it, and he looked at me. I was with shorts. He was with long pants, and he looked at me and he told me, just look at me like this. Just jump. We don't have something else to do right now. Just jump, I'll catch you. So I did it. And then we got to a valley. Valley in English also. Valley, okay. Thanks.
The riverbed.
Yeah.
And you continued to run.
So at that point, I stopped leading them. I was behind. They just keep running, and I don't know, but I passed through a big bush, and I thought that maybe it's a good place to hide. So I lay down on the ground to see if there is any space for us to hide there. And I saw that we have space there.
A huge pocket.
Yeah, like a huge pocket there. So I shout to Yovel, Maya, and Yoav to come and hide with me there. So they came. We came inside to this bush. This bush was full of huge thorns. Maybe this is me when I told my mom 20 minutes and I'm home. Okay, that's okay? This is the thorns. As you can see, it's a huge one. This is the place that we hide. This is Yovel with the big smile on his face. He was high. Yeah, that's the truth. Yoav is there. You can see my leg, the leg with the tattoo. This is not real tattoo. I don't have tattoos. And Maya between my legs. I don't know if you can see it, but if you can't, so yeah. And so we just started to hide, and after 30 minutes, the people just stopped running next to us. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
There was more missiles,
Mama?
more missiles, more goons,
Yeah.
lots of shooting around you.
A lot of shooting around us. And after, I don't know, I told you half an hour, so maybe I don't have the time, the exact time, but I can tell you that the bush, we could hear,
Bullets, we could hear bullets whistling
yeah, bullets
in the
whistling.
tree.
Yeah.
It
Maya,
wasn't over.
No. It was a long time. I don't know if you know, but if you can hear it, it means that the bullet is like less than 1 meter from you. Super close. And when I just opened my eyes was closed because it's like terrified. So I opened my eyes and I could see the ground just
Jumping around you
jumping around me.
from the bullets.
From the bullets, yes. Maya held me hard, like really hard, tight. Thank you. And she asked me if we are going back home today, and I told her yes. Obviously, of course. Why not? Why do you think like this? So actually, I don't know why or how, but I had I knew that we are going back home at that day. I knew. I could felt it. I don't know how to explain it, but I knew that I'll be alive, maybe with a gunshot, but but I'll be alive. All of us actually. So after a couple of minutes, the bullet whistling just stopped, and I could hear, איך אומרים רחפן?
I could hear a drone.
Yeah.
I could hear a drone.
כן, שמעתי רחפן,
I heard a drone go above us,
כן,
fly over us.
כן. ואמרתי,
And I said, no,
סבבה,
Sababa.
זה טוב, שלנו, לא?
This is ours, probably.
אז הוא נעצר מעלינו,
And then he stopped above us
וירשתי כדורים.
and shot two bullets down. It wasn't Israeli drone.
זה לא היה שלנו. הוא ירה ממש שני כדורים שנפלו ממש במרחק ממני להיילי.
Really, right next to us. It's fine. You speak in Hebrew, so they can all test my translation. So the drone shot down 2 bullets really close to you. It was very scary.
כן, really scary. And I can tell you a lot of things that I thought in the bush because we've been there for 5 or 6 hours. But I can tell you that after I think one maybe 2 hours, we start to hear like from the road that we came, like long, like beep from the car.
Oh, okay. Honking?
Yeah, that's.
Oh, long.
Yeah,
It was like
long
continuous. Okay.
Yeah. I didn't understand what is this noise, why it's like this. And 5 minutes after, we could hear the terrorist right above us. It felt like 5 meters from us. We could hear her breathing, her whispering, her shouting, everything.
She could hear the guns clinking. So that's the word.
Yeah, everything, and we could hear the gunshot, like very strong. זה הרס לי את השמיעה קצת.
Oh, it was very loud. It was actually hurting my ears. It was that close. They were like right outside the bush?
כן. כן. At that point, we stopped breathing. We closed our eyes. We stopped breathing, and we just pray. I hold my necklace. On my necklace, the word ישמרך, ישמור אותך אלוהים.
God will protect you. Guard you. Thank you. That was on her necklace.
Yeah, I have my necklace.
And Haley got hers today.
Yeah, and also Tom.
And also.
Yeah. And then I don't know how to explain it, but I felt that someone that is not alive just protect me at that moment, like כמו כאילו בועה כזאת, כמו במשפחת סופרם כזה, שכאילו אף אחד לא יכול לחדור את זה.
Yeah, it's like a bubble, like the Incredibles that nobody can penetrate.
Yeah,
you were safe with someone.
Yeah. 2 seconds after Bird just was next to me. After when I got home, I told this to my mom, and then she told me that that my grandfather died in Simchat Torah, and all of this just happened in Simchat Torah, so yeah, he protects me.
After they left, you were able to breathe again?
Yeah. Of course. The thorns was like really hurt me and Maya. And I couldn't move, and she couldn't move because, like you can see here, we sit like together, we stick to each other. היו לה כזה צמידים ממש בואשים.
She had bracelets that were noisy.
אז החזקתי את זה כאילו ממש חזק כדי שלא ישמעו את זה.
So I held them really tight so they don't make any noise.
ולי היו מלא נצנצים ומלא תכשיטים, אז החלטתי להוריד אותם כדי שאני לא אנצנץ והם לא יזהבו אותי.
Sparkling back here on my face and jewelry, and I removed it all so that they wouldn't find us.
כן. חשוב לי להגיד שהייתה לי תקווה והייתי אופטימית לאורך כל הזמן הזה, ובאמת ידעתי, הייתה בי אמונה חזקה מאוד, שאנחנו חוזרים הביתה לגמרי.
It's important for me to say that throughout this ordeal, I had a strong feeling that we're going to survive and we're going to make it out of there.
זו תחושה שבאמת ליוותה אותי לאורך כל הדרך, והיא זאת שהחזיקה אותי בעצם שם.
I felt it throughout the time.
כן, כל הזמן אותי, והאמת שגם את מאיה, כי מאיה הייתה בטוחה שאנחנו הולכים למות.
This optimism really kept us going. Maya was not optimistic.
היא בכתה כאילו ממש כל הזמן.
She cried all the time.
והיא כל איזה חצי שעה פשוט שאלה אותי,
Every 30 minutes she asked
האם אנחנו באמת נחזור הביתה.
are we really going to come back home?
כל הזמן אני אומרת לה כן,
Always I told her yes.
וכל הזמן היא אומרת לי, אבל איך את יודעת ולמה את כל כך בטוחה?
She responds, I know. Why are you so confident about that?
ואני אומרת לה, אני לא יודעת, אני פשוט מרגישה את זה. זו תחושה שאני לא יכולה
I don't
להסביר
know, I
לך.
just feel it. I can explain why. היא
בוחרת להאמין בזה, כי ברור שכדאי להאמין בזה מאשר בזה שאנחנו הולכים למות.
She picked to believe me. It was a bad choice.
For her, for us. ואז הגיעו המחבלים בפעם השנייה.
So the second wave of terrorists came back to the tree, to that bush, whatever that was.
הפעם נשמעו קצת יותר מרוחקים.
They sounded a little bit further away this time.
וכשהם הלכו,
And when they left,
יובל או יואב ממש פחדו, ואמרו שאנחנו חייבים לברוח, חייבים להתקדם.
Yovel and Yoav told us we can't stay here anymore, we gotta move.
אמרתי להם שאין מצב שאנחנו יוצאים, שיהיה לנו מושג איפה הם נמצאים.
No way, we can't move, we don't know where they are.
הייתה החלטה קשה ואמיצה מאוד, וגם הרגשתי שזה כאילו,
Tough decision.
שזה כל האחריות עליי, כי אני זאת שמצאת המקום
I
להתקבל.
decided to stay, so it was all on my shoulders.
ואמרתי, אם משהו קורה זה כאילו עליי.
I said, if something happened, it's going to be on me.
אז התחושה הזאת כזה מלווה אותי גם כן לאורך כל הזמן, ואני עדיין בוחרת להאמין שאנחנו יוצאים מכאן, כאילו אני החלטתי, זה מה שהולך לקרות.
So she believed that that was the right thing to do. Somehow, not sure how, but she kept being positive that this is the right thing to do, to stay alive.
ואז הבנתי שבגלל שהם כאילו באמת גם כל כך מפחדים והם רוצים להתקדם ואין לנו קליטה, אני חייבת,
No reception in the cell,
אני חייבת איכשהו להשיג קליטה.
and I had to get some sort of reception somehow.
אז הוצאתי את הטלפון שלי עם מצב טיסה.
Oh,
כן, שכחתי להגיד, שמתי אותו על מצב טיסה כי מישהו צעק לנו שנייה לפני שנכנסנו לשיח.
Yeah, before they got there, she moved into airplane mode because someone said that they could be tracking her signal. So she turned airplane mode off now to try to get a reception.
היה לי ממש פס אחד ולא הצלחתי לשלוח הודעות וואטסאפ.
Only one bar, and I couldn't send out messages.
אז שלחתי הודעות טקסט לאלון.
So I sent text messages to Alon, her boyfriend.
כתבתי לו,
Wrote,
אלון, אנחנו נמצאים בתוך שיח למעלה מ3 שעות, יורים עלינו פה בלי סוף, בבקשה תתקשר למשטרה ותוציא אותי מפה.
we're sitting in the bush for 3 hours, constantly getting shot at. Call the police
ותוציא אותי מפה.
and get us out of here. We're trapped under this tree.
ולאבא שלי שלחתי את אותה הודעה, רק שאליו לא נשלח החלק המפחיד של ההודעה, שיורים עלינו בלי סוף וש...
I also sent it to my father, but the scary stuff didn't go through.
לא, זה לא, הדברים המפחידים לא נשלחו.
Yeah, so the scary stuff didn't go through. Very soon, Alon managed to locate my phone via Find My iPhone.
נכון, אני לא נצליח לאתר את הטלפון שלי דרך Find My iPhone. ואז המפקד שלי במילואים מתקשר אליי ואומר לי, שני, אנחנו במלחמה, יש לך צו 8 ואת לא זמינה כל הבוקר.
I gotta translate this. So she's in the Army Reserve, and her officer is calling her and telling her, "Where are you? We are in a war. I've been trying to reach you all the morning. Where the hell are you?"
We need you, where the hell are you?
Sorry? Yeah.
ואני לוחשת לו.
So I whisper back to him.
I know, I'm here, help me.
So she goes, I know.
אני אמרתי את זה באנגלית. ואז צרורות של יריות, הוא שומע את זה.
Then the officer can hear the gunshots around me.
והוא אומר, תשלחי לי לוקיישן, אני מגיע.
She goes, he says, send me the location, I'm coming.
1 hour after.
1 hour after.
לפעמים ככה, משפט ככה, מה שיוצא. Okay, so 1 hour after, מישהו במדים עם טנדר לבן מגיע לכיווננו.
About an hour after, somebody with uniform with a white van is driving towards us.
בדיוק באותו רגע, אותה חברה מאותן הודעות הקודמות, רוני,
At that time, a friend of mine sends me a text that says,
רוני שולחת לי הודעה שבה כתוב, תיזהרי, מחבלים מגיעים לבושים במדים בטנדר לבן.
wearing uniform in a white van.
אני אומרת, פאק. Not
I said, damn it.
Sorry. And then this man just started to shout the name Yam, Yam, Yam. Yam, he is a guy that was in the trip with us, Yam and Nicole actually. And then Yam just started to scream to him, yes, I'm here. And I just משכתי אותו לרצפה.
Immediately pushed him down.
וצעקנו עליו בלחישות כאלה, אי אפשר לצעוק.
Shouted him in silence.
שישתוק, שהוא חייב לשתוק,
Be quiet.
כי יש מצב שזה מחבל.
I said, you fool, you're going to get us killed. And what if this is a terrorist?
ואז אותו בחור just started to scream, ים, ניקול, מאיה, שני, יובל, go out, I'm here to rescue. No, but in the name Yam, there is no accent. Not in Arabic. Yam. Which accent will you have in the name Yam in Arabic? So after I screamed all of our names, I could breathe again. And then 16 people from the tree just went out from the tree. I didn't know that they are there. לא נראה לי, תלחץ, לא יודעת מה יש בכלל. כן. אותו בחור שהציל אותנו,
The same guy that saved us, rescued us.
קוראים לו ליאון.
His name is Leon.
נכנסנו 16 אנשים לרכב.
All 16 of us went into his car, his white van.
כולנו היינו מפוחדים, מבועלים.
very scared, terrified.
ואז הוא אמר לנו,
They told us,
שלום, אני ליאון מגדרה.
Shalom, I'm Leon from Gedera.
אשתי ממש לא רצתה שאני אצא בבוקר מהבית,
My wife told me,
והנה אני כאן.
don't go out this morning, and here I am.
באתי לחלץ אתכם.
But I came to get you out of here.
הוא אמר את זה כזה בטון קצת מצחיק.
He said it kind of comic.
אז ישר כולנו התחלנו
So
לצחוק.
we all started laughing.
ואז שאלתי אותו אם יש לו נשק,
I asked him if he has a gun.
והוא שתק.
He didn't respond.
הוא הוציא אותנו לשטח אש. בשלב הזה שלחתי לאמא שלי הודעה שאני בחוץ.
He dropped us off somewhere. שטח. Somewhere. And then I sent my mother a text that I'm fine.
And then she wanted me to send her a photo, a picture of me because she thought that I kidnapped. And Hamas took my phone and sent her a message and that maybe it's not me. So I sent her this picture over here behind the white tender of Leon. And another picture of everyone. We can see here Yoav, and from the right side only the legs of Yovel. And then after 2 minutes, Leon told us that he must go inside because there are more people that need him. And he needs to rescue more people, so goodbye. So we tell him thank you very much, and that's it. Another 2 trucks just took us to a place that's called Maslul. This is from the truck not of Leon. This is the truck that took us to Maslul. You can see that he just keeps smiling because he's still high. Maya just started to smile because we are alive. You know, Maya, the one next to me, the girl, 2 boys, 2 girls, one of them is me, so yeah. The right one, left, your left, this is Maya, the right one, it's me, the one who cries, me, yeah. And we came to Maslul. We came to Maslul, and then men just write our names because they need to post it on Facebook, Instagram, everywhere. And then we went to family from Maslul just to take a shower and eat something, and we need clothes because all of our clothes just נקרעו.
Gripped. All our clothes were ripped.
From the thorns. And in the shower, Maya asked me if my back is hurt, and I didn't understand why she asked this question because I'm good. I felt like really good. I'm alive, yeah. After all of this, and then she told me that all my back with thorns. So you can see that most of my back was full of thorns. This is after the shower when she pulled them off. The part of my back that without the thorns, it was like this because I had a backpack, so it protected me. And
Only then you found out you were actually considered missing.
yeah, at that point I actually understand that I was missing, and I had like, I don't know,
5,000 shares.
5,000 shares on my post of missing, and a lot of messages on WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram that ask me if I'm alive. And so I was shocked. מה?
And then you called Alon.
ומה אמרתי לו?
You told him you broke it down.
אני לא זוכרת, מה אמרתי לו?
You wanted to go home.
נכון, רק רציתי להגיע
So you wanted to
הביתה.
go home. That's all.
בשעה,
4:30.
כן, בשעה 4:30 הגענו חזרה לבאר שבע.
Only at 4:30 we started going back to Be'er Sheva, where she lives.
And סליחה, זה...
Started at 6 a.m., right? 6:30.
So this is a picture of four of us. How, as you can see, after everything, this is in Be'er Sheva, in the place, at the same place that we four of us just go out to the party. And yeah, actually, this is the good end of my story. And the day after, Leon Bar, the one who rescued us, murdered by a terrorist. Yeah, it's hard part for me. He is my hero, like really. אז זה בגדול הסיפור שלי.
This is my story.
ורק חשוב לי להגיד לכם שלא משנה באיזה סיטואציה, הכי גרועה גם שתיכנסו אליה בחיים, תמיד תאמינו, וזה מה שיקרה. כי האמנתי וידעתי שאני הולכת לחזור הביתה, וחזרתי הביתה.
I just want to tell you that believe is the strength that kept me going and everybody around me. So no matter what situation you're in, just believe and it's gonna be.
שבוע אחרי זה הבנו שמשהו כמו 10 חברים נרצחו.
1 week later we were notified that about 10 of our friends were murdered.
ושיש אחת
And there's one.
שקוראים לה נועה ארגמני,
Her name was Noah Argamani.
שהיא חברה,
She's a friend
והיא חטופה,
and she's kidnapped.
and we are still waiting for her. So, yeah. לא סיפרתי עליו מההתחלה. So yeah, thank you for listening.
I just want to mention, we'll have a little bit of time, not a lot. People want to ask some questions. Direct your questions to Shani or to her uncle. Mic around.
I just want to say that in the day 11 of the war, I decided to come to the IDF because I need to save life. I'm a combat medic. So this is me in the army as a combat medic. And right now I'm also an ambulance driver. So this is my ambulance actually. Yes, so now if you want to ask me any question, just go for it.
Shani, what kind of support are you getting officially, unofficially, friends, the army, the government, שירותי הבריאות?
אני לא יודעת איך אומרים קצבה.
Allowance. Kitzvah is on an allowance.
I have a psychologist, psychiatrist,
Psychologists and psychiatrists, mental health that are helping her cope with it.
יש לי קבוצות תמיכה.
She has a support group.
מלא ריטריטים של כל מי שניצל מהנובה.
It has actually a lot of other people that were survivors of the Nova Festival. So they're going to a retreat to get help.
And I have my friends, my family that support me like all the time. So yeah.
It's a new community. Any other question? We'll take another few. Or comments. Don't be shy.
Like any question, it's good.
Sean.
First of all, thank you for coming. It's a very inspirational story. You can all draw strength from it. I understand that you guys were there for a very long time. We heard that the terrorists were able to kind of rampage for like 8 or 9 hours. Was there any explanation as to why it took so long from, Israel was always ready for this kind of thing?
No explanation. It was like a big situation. The IDF was attacked too by Hamas. A lot of soldier murder also at that day. It was like a huge situation. So no complaints to the simple soldier that was there. They couldn't help him.
I just want to mention that it's hard to imagine when you have 4,000 terrorists coming in and they were targeting police stations, army bases, so they weren't allowing them to come out. When we came from Charlotte, we were in Sderot, where there was the police armory that was attacked and a lot of policemen were killed, to the point where the only way they were able to get it back, because the terrorists were in it, was by demolishing it. We were there, they put up a stage, and they wrote a statement Torah on the spot, so we all had a chance some of us had a chance to write a letter. But the point of the matter is that the terrorists themselves were very shrewd and smart and tactful, so they knew that they have to plug the rescue effort, not to allow them to come out. So for that reason, they have to bring people from other parts of the country to be able to mobilize.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll take 1 or 2 more questions.
If they will ask you if the Israeli army should go to Rafah or not, what will you say?
What again?
הוא שואל אם זה כדאי שצה"ל ייכנס לתוך רפיח. משהו פוליטי.
Yeah, it's like a really tough question, the army need to do what they need to do.
Okay, we'll take 1 more, and with that we will call it a night and people can greet Shani and her family. I also want to take this opportunity that this is a time to demonstrate Jewish pride. For that reason, this year, the Lag BaOmer festival that we're running is going to be at Symphony Park with a lot of activities. It's going to be outside. It's going to be a time to show solidarity with Israel. It's going to be a time to show Jewish pride to the street rather than doing it in an enclosed area. We want to do it out in the open and bring out Judaism in the most beautiful way. So if you have plans, it's on May 26th. We are going to have a huge Lag BaOmer event, and that will be our opportunity. עוד שאלה אחת, one more question, if לא? Yes, Lisa.
I could see in your face how difficult it was for you to come here today and share with us, and your courage and your bravery and the ability for you to come here and share with everybody. I was just in Israel and visited the Nova site, and for all of many people that haven't been there, to give us the opportunity to hear from you was so important. And I wish you strength and going out in your service in the IDF. And I just am so grateful for you and appreciative to you to show all our community what the IDF and everybody else is doing. And we have one thing to say, Am Yisrael Chai. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I just want to say that I served in איך אומרים עוטף עזה? Gaza envelope.
By the way, in English it's translated as Gaza envelope. In America, an envelope is something you put into the mailbox. But what it means is the area that surrounds Gaza. That's called the Otef, all the villages that are right by the border of Gaza.
Yeah, so in this picture you can see me and Hanan, what am I forgetting? Yeah, this one, we're in the Nova area together. So yes, and one more thing, that if one of you are going to be in New York, there is a play. There is a play about 13 testimonies of 13 people. One of them is me. So I really recommend to see October 7th the play. I saw it before 3 days ago. Yeah, the premiere. So yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.